Avengers was directed by Josh Whedon. It came out in the year 2012, and this was the first time on the big screen we saw all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe superheroes team up together. In the first of 4 Avengers movies, Loki, brother of Thor, steals the Tesseract in order to bring an invasion down to Earth of the alien race known as the Chitauri to help take over. This leads into Nick Fury finally getting together his band of superheroes, the Avengers, to team up and take down Loki. This is my next act into my lead up for my review of Avengers Infinity War this weekend. I cannot wait for that movie, but before I review that, I felt it was necessary to finally talk about the first Avengers movie from 2012. If you guys were uncultured and had no clue what my thoughts were prior on the Avengers to this video, you guys should know that I'm actually not the biggest fan of this first Avengers movie. In fact, this is one of my least favorites in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not necessarily saying it's a bad movie by any means. I think it's pretty enjoyable, but it's not nearly one of my favorites or even one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies I would say that's in the middle. But let's dig right into this blockbuster of a film, because The Avengers was one of the most hyped up superhero movies of all time, and not just that, but movies in general. And if you happen to follow through and watch all of the MCU movies before this movie came out, then this was a film you were just dying to see. Your anticipation was through the roof. Maybe that's why I didn't enjoy this movie as much as other people did. I did not actually really watch most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies until a couple of years after the first Avengers movie dropped. The only one I think I saw before I watched this movie for the first time was the first Captain America film. But after I watched all of the original MCU movie films and then later rewatched this first Avengers movie, I could understand where the hype came from and how it was so great to finally see these superheroes team up on the big screen. Because that's probably the best part of the Avengers, finally being able to see the culmination of this Avengers squad. You finally get to see Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, and Black Widow all team up. If you're a mega fan, you are eating up what you're watching on this screen, especially towards the finale, because this is basically everything a superhero nerd has been waiting to see their entire lives. One of my favorite parts of the Avengers has always been Tom Hiddleston as Loki, because as this character, we saw this in the first Thor movie, coming back here to play this movie's main villain, he nails down this character. He is so good as a villain, and he is given proper character development. Now, I wouldn't say he's as good in this movie as he is in the first Thor or even Ragnarok, but I still like his character portrayal here a lot in the first Avengers movie. Without a doubt, he solidifies himself as a top 3 villain in the MCU from just this first Avengers movie alone. His character brings plenty of gags that make you laugh here and there, and this movie is another one of those MCU movies that makes you laugh a lot. It has a true comedic sense. It knows what it's trying to be, and that's what makes this movie really funny. As I said earlier, the finale here is very entertaining. I think it's one of the better finales we've been given in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. Plus, the Avengers score happens to be my favorite score of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. That does not include the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies or even Thor Ragnarok, because those are not the kind of scores I'm talking about. This is a very powerful instrumental movie score, and I love it so much. Every single time I hear it, I listen to it on a daily basis. Now let me start getting into some of the reasons why I don't think The Avengers is one of the best or even one of the more middle-of-the-pack movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For the last few years, I feel as though Marvel has been putting out movies that are non-stop action. You never lose entertainment or interest in the product on the screen. But with the Avengers, there is about 20 minutes where all of the superheroes are inside that ship, and it gets pretty boring after a period of time. Once 5 minutes goes by, you're wondering, okay, when are things going to start picking back up? But the movie definitely loses some steam as it goes through these scenes, and I just don't really care that much. Luckily, it only takes up 20 minutes of this film. Originally, I thought it was somewhere between a half hour and 45 minutes. That would have been horrible, but no, it is only 20 minutes, so it's not that bad. I really do like the way they set up this movie, how all the characters were integrated onto the screen, how they introduced each other. It was all done in a clever way, but once we get to this finale, I said it's entertaining. Yes, it is popcorn finale stuff. It is what you go to the movies for. You want to be glued to the screen as easily as possible, but this finale just seems a little bit too over the top, very similar to Transformers Dark of the Moon and that movie's finale. I don't know what it is. I think this movie must have gotten a lot of inspiration from that film, but let me say, I wasn't the biggest fan of the third Transformers movie. So when this movie's finale feels like a repeat of that movie's finale, I'll tell you, I wasn't exactly happy about that. It is really ridiculous, and these alien villains I did not care about at all. Loki was barely involved in the action, besides one cool little scene where the Hulk is destroying him. But other than that, it's really just the aliens going against the Avengers. And these are villains I don't give one damn about. There's no depth given to these characters. They are just there so Loki can have an army and doesn't have to fight all the Avengers himself. So hopefully there is something way better done in the third Avengers movie this weekend, or else I'll probably just check out. The final complaint I have with this Avengers movie is how I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary. It didn't add very much to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. Yes, it does add more depth to the characters of Thor and Loki and their final two movies on the screen in both Thor the Dark World and Thor Ragnarok, but besides that, there really isn't much of a reason to have this movie be made. I don't believe this or the second Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, is quite necessary. In fact, I would go as far as saying these two movies are just there to be making money, and that's about it. Sure, it does progress a few other of the Avengers stories, but nonetheless, there really isn't much of a need to have this movie. I was much more satisfied with the Captain America movies, where they added more than just the flagship character of that movie. They were able to integrate the other characters to make it a great movie and added so much more. Rather than just having a villain get pissed, gather an army together to fight the Avengers for the sake of having a movie. That's really the biggest complaint I've always had with the Avengers. So guys, that's really my overall thoughts on this Avengers movie. It's not nearly close to a bad film. I think it's very enjoyable. It is a solid movie in general, but there are some of those things that make me think back to myself, was there really a point in having this? At times, it does feel like a money grab, and for there to be a reason to have all the superheroes finally team up and get the fans pumped and ready for the next several Marvel Cinematic Universe movies coming out after this one. So for that reason, I'm going to give the first Avengers movie a 73%. See, not that bad of a rating. I generally enjoy all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I don't actually think there's a bad movie inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I would probably give all of them a fresh rating, other than maybe Iron Man 2 and the first Hulk movie, but besides those two, I do think all of the MCU movies are very well done, have always been a lot of fun, and I cannot just wait to watch this Avengers Infinity War movie this weekend. It's going to be so much fun. Alright, so for those Marvel Cinematic Universe fans out there who have seen the Avengers, let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it, and have your thoughts changed from 2012 to now? So I'm going to continue doing my lead up to Avengers Infinity War this weekend. I have at least one more review planned, as well as a few rankings videos for you guys coming up. If you are new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.